Once again, it's interesting whether Team USA wins the leg one more time, and looks like so. What do you think of that, Jeremy?
Yeah, pretty impressive. 2 good lags by both players. I mean, you wouldn't call this a must-win, obviously, but
Well, usually you are supposed to win this because, for instance, at straight pool, you can easily lose a match because of losing a leg shot.
right. Well, 9-ball pool. You can do a lot of things well. You can actually outplay your opponent as far as mistakes and still lose the match, especially in a race to 5. But definitely, if they both play a perfect match, you like the guy who wins the leg.
Well, of course, I think it's always good to be breaking on the hill.
Oh, absolutely. Breaking first, too. You get to apply the pressure. So. Tyler Styer, who's another Mosconi Cup hopeful, looking to make his place in London this December 4th through the 7th at Alexandra Palace. And Tyler, I talked to him before the match, of course, before today's play started, and he said he's felt the most comfortable today out of every day.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah, and he did that on a match yesterday where he took a lot of speed off and cut him, where I'm really shocked because if you're watching the matches, you can see the power break hitting the ball head on has been very successful. You'll notice the one ending up on the end rail, so even if he would have made a ball, other than the one.
And Tyler's break shot is one of the best we've seen so far during these 3 days.
Right.
So did you manage to ask Corey about his shot selection?
I did. He came up and asked me, actually, what do you think, Jeremy, about my play? And I said, I thought you looked great cueing the ball. I thought you were very comfortable, but I'm going to be honest as far as the decision on the bank. And we talked about it. And, he heard what I had to say, and I heard what he had to say. I think that you got to just weigh the 2 options. And him being such an experienced player, I think same situation comes up, I think he'll bury him behind the 6. Now, this is a touchy safety because it's very difficult to go in between the 8 and 3, and in the 6, that's where he wants to run the cue ball behind that big wall right there. The one's gotten away from him, though. And that's, again, from the application of side spin. The cue ball putting the left, deflected to the right a little more, catching the one much thicker, sending the one up table. He wanted to put the one on the side rail.
I don't think the combo, the 3-ball combo is available.
He's got an easy safety, though. Easy safety, just nipping the one.
Yeah, barely touching the one.
Yeah, he's going to shoot at the combo. No, I don't blame him because he can't eliminate the kick shot.
Well, it looks being so off-angled.
Yeah, but that's okay. He doesn't have to catch much of the 5.
Yeah, he just changed his decision.
Well, the problem here is if you don't eliminate the kick, now the 1 is very makeable off the 7, and that's the reason why I may have went ahead and played the 3-ball combination, yeah.
Probably just taking care to move the cue ball closer to the corner pocket.
Yeah, there's about 5 different ways you can make this 1 off the 7. You can catch 2 rails first heavy, you can catch 2 rails first thin, you can catch it straight into the ball. So the good thing if you're an American, and I'm pulling for these Americans, is the 2's pinned on the back rail, so the cue ball should come towards him.
Well, good news for Team USA here is that where the 2 ball is located.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, good thing the cue ball will be going up table. At least you don't figure him to run out from here. But that's a little bit of experience. Maybe got the best of Tyler in that situation. You had to realize that the 1 was going to be very makeable the way the 7 laid over the side. Okay, this is not easy. He's probably going to use. Okay, he's let one go again now. He may be fortunate.
Wow.
And that's two of them that really were mishits by Fedor in this opening game.
And now he's going to face
another one where he has to play safe, I believe.
The toughest shot of the rig so far is trying to pocket the 3 ball past the 5, if it even goes.
I don't think it goes anywhere. I don't think he has a pocket.
He does not, yeah.
But he does have some options. He can nip the 3.
of the 8 ball comes into play right now, and once again, Fedor looks a little bit rusty, I would say, on his safety play so far.
Well, he's mishit a couple, but that's probably some nerves. Sometimes, you know, your team wins a couple matches that actually almost puts a lot of more pressure on you that you can not seal the deal in the match by getting up 8-5 here, but it's tough to play from ahead and behind, believe it or not. Okay, he's going to probably try to make this cross side, sending the cue ball towards the 7, maybe leaving some distance if he misses. He double kissed it. Is it going to help? Looks like the 3 is going to get to the back rail.
Yeah, looks like so.
Yep. So we'll see now. Fedor has to make another choice.
Yeah, once again, this shot looks pretty similar to the one he made on the 2 ball.
I might kick behind this one and kick it by the 6 and then down table. I think there's a lot more room for error there. I think with the 7 covering up the pocket also, I think it's a little harder to sell out. He's going to try and dive the cue ball behind the 4-7, and that's tough. Oh no, he's chipping it. He's going for the ultimate safety, and it looks like he hit it well.
And behind the 7.
Looks like he hit it well. Nope, it leaked out.
Well, you can't blame him for this attempt. It was pretty good one.
It was. Oh no, he got him. He snookered him. But that was also, I think the shot clock got to him there. That was, there wasn't a whole lot of room to bury the cue ball there, and you knew the 3 was coming to an open side of the table, so a great shot, but I think a little fortunate as well.
Well, he gambled. I mean, Fedor gambled with this one a little bit.
Yeah, and that's part of the game, that's for sure. You have to take chances. Okay, he needs a friendly kiss on the 3. Is it going to tie up on the 7? I think this got funny. Now the safety looks very easy. Oh no, he can make a carom shot very easy, yeah. And send the 3 into a nice place. Now one thing Tyler did do is he knocked the 5 into a tough place.
I think it was Phil Capel mentioning yesterday that this shot is not a carom but a billiard.
Well, I guess in Texas I'm a little closer to Mexico. So they, you know, carom shot, billiard shot. One mark against me for not being proper.
Well, just I think his point was that a billiard is when the cue ball is involved, and the carom is like when you are driving one object ball into the other.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's the difference, according to Phil.
Well,
Once again, go and check.
What is a combination shot then?
Well, go and check a special running. I think it's the last day a special on his Play Your Best pool book, the one we got translated recently.
Okay, he's got to make a decision here whether to play the combination or trying to come short side on the 5. The 5 does not pass the 9, so if he comes to the short side, he'll have to play either for the upper corner or the side pocket. So a little bit of a gamble here. If he ends up odd angle on the rail like this, things become difficult. Now he's going to have to play this in the corner, I believe. Nice shot. What about the 9? Ooh. Nice kiss on the 9 ball.
Yeah, hit it with enough pace just to drive the 9 ball out of the way.
Yeah, hitting the 9 at that speed would have been very unfortunate to get snookered. You would have had to double kiss it and send the 9 up the rail, blocking the 6.
Oh, sometimes it happens just that. That's the nature of the game.
Now again, with the Americans winning the lag and what looks to be losing the first game while breaking, up against it, has to wait. They have to wait on another mistake by the Russians.
Yeah, that's just the way it is in tennis. Like that's a break of serve
Right.
for Team Russia.
And the way the table's breaking, it's huge. We've had now 3 dry breaks, I think, overall, but for the most part, the table's breaking great. We've had 1-9 on the break today. Has that one in each of the first 3 days, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, with this streaming and with the whole event idea, ABN Billiards is trying to send a message to the promoters worldwide. So just guys, feel free to adopt this kind of format and just invite some other teams to play on the national level.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe USA versus Canada is a good thing to start with.
well, there's Canada has a lot of great players.
And of course, Europe.
I think team sports, as far as it's an individual game as a whole, but I think the team aspect is a great would be a great part of the game as well. I don't think you're going to see Fedor back off the break at all. I don't think you'll see him cut him. Real square, breaks the balls great. 10 ball as well. Oh, he did cut him. I don't know if it was intentional.
By mistake, I think.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Now he's not going to punish him. He's got a 1-8 billiard shot if he wants.
They Europeans use the cut
Or the
break
combination.
nowadays. Yeah, only during Euro Tour because their
9 on the spot.
the rack has shifted. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just the way Johan told them and was teaching them that it's completely different. That's a cut break.
Now the 1-8, the problem with the 1-8 combination is he can avoid the scratch, but what if he scratches off the 4? And that's the problem. If the 4 wasn't there, he could go to the rail very easily. But now, if he hits it too thin, he could naturally go into the corner pocket. If he hits it a hair thick, he could scratch off the 4. So a little touchy here. Oh, he played the Carom. Oh, wow. He tried to play them both. I think that was playing both.
Maybe he only played the one.
Nah, I think he tried to play both. I think he had an opportunity for both. But he definitely played the one, I think, and a great shot.
Well, brutal game gear, what it says on Shane McMean's shirt, and that's just the way we see it right now.
That's right.
It's being a little bit brutal on Team USA.
Yeah, that's brutal is a word we use a lot in the pool room back home, or the pool world. Now this isn't a thin cut, so the cue ball will have a lot of speed, probably going in the direction of the 7. I'm not so sure if Fedor, even though a great shot on the 1 there, I'm not so sure he's totally comfortable like we've seen in the last 2 days. But he'll hit this with not any side spin at all, just a natural cut, take his chances on the cue ball. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The stretch is on.
Yeah, and that's what happens, and it's a little unfortunate, but he had to turn it loose. That's taking that chance, and it bit him that time. So really an easy, pretty easy 5 ball out here with ball in hand.
A nice chance for Tyler to catch up with Fedor.
Yeah, and I'd like to see him get out here for sure, of course, but I'd like to see what he does on his next break. If I could get it in his ear, I would go, hey, do what you do best, and that's hit the balls square and firm. Okay, so he'll just kind of stop his ball right there for a little bit of an angle on the 8. That way he can go to the side rail and make sure he gets off the rail with the cue ball, shooting the 9.
And made very smooth contact with the cue ball on his shot on the 6.
Using the side rail and purposely there just to hold the cue ball.
Do you roll it in generally or
No,
just
no, no,
punch
no.
it?
Not punch, but just nice and downward strike a little bit clean. Not punch. Punch means a little more force. This is just like.
Yeah, just like this one.
Yeah, but I don't think that was totally necessary. Just a little lighter, I would have hit the ball probably, but.
You rarely see them pros like rolling.
No.
Probably they
yeah.
just fear of skidding or like.
Well, no, the roll you're in. You want to be. You're in control of things whenever you have a little bit of speed on it. Amateurs, a lot of times they make a beautiful run out and they get to the 9 and they want to ease it in to try and make the pocket bigger.
Yeah, that's the point.
Instead of knowing they have command of the stroke a lot more with a nice medium stroke. So I preach that to a lot of players back home. One big difference between one level to the next is confidence. It's probably the biggest word in a lot of sports is confidence. I'm sure that.
So just look once again at this nasty scratch.
Yeah, it was nasty. I wonder if one of the Americans may have mentioned to Tyler, "Hey, go ahead and break them." Oh, you can see the one ball moving off the rack a little bit, though, so the referee will take care of that. We had a couple issues with some racks earlier in the match. Nothing intentional, of course, but they cleaned that up.
Looked good enough to me. Don't know what he didn't like there. The one didn't move at all on his second attempt.
Pool is a brutal game. We saw that scratch again. I don't think Tyler's totally happy with the rack, but
but in Europe and get ready for this one during your Euro Tour experience, you are only allowed to ask for a re-rack once, and after that you have to accept it.
You mean once per game or once a match?
Once per game.
Wow.
So there is no time wasting around the rack actually.
Right. Well, in sports, the referees. They're involved for a reason, and sometimes things happen. It's just like in other sports, they make a bad call, it happens. Pool, it's the same thing. It's just.
Well,
you play long enough, it's going to happen for you, and it's going to happen against you.
Yeah, so. Tyler losing the cue ball on his break. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Now you can see just coming across, he wants to get nice and full on the 3 ball. You can see the 4 in the middle of the table. And Fedor, not only for his age, he's such an efficient player also. Got to see him play last year. I got to commentate his matches in the Bigfoot Challenge at the Derby. And he was very impressive as far as his ability at the table and his decision making.
Well, playing on Bigfoot can be quite intimidating.
Oh, absolutely, especially with the list of players. There wasn't a shortstop in the list, so some may have said that Fedor may have been got the smallest resume probably out of all of them. So he's got to make a decision here, even though the 7-8, you can do a number of things as far as playing positions. So he'll address the 6 how he wants to get on the 7.
Probably just going one rail.
Yeah. There's not really a bad angle on the 7, to be honest with you.
And drifting along the position zone.
Yeah, coming right towards the 7. It's always nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Key to this is don't underhit. Some people back off of that shot and they end up by the head string, They just kind of, I can shoot from anywhere. Key is to go ahead and be aggressive with your stroke and come down towards the table. You got 8 feet. So.
It's kind of weird. Fedor still doesn't have a proper nickname back over there. Well, my version is like the Killer Ghost.
Well, sometimes it takes an event to produce a nickname. And he certainly hasn't probably come across as big as events in his life. He's going to have plenty of titles, you would think. Plenty of situations to shine. And now up 2-1 and another service break. So he'll be breaking in game 4. We have another doubles match coming up. Thorpe and Woodward against Lutsker and
The only female player on both teams, Christina Tkach. Tkach.
Right, Tkach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my Russian's getting better every day.
How many words have you learned so far?
Well, let's not go that far.
Just
maybe.
Go ahead.
No. And then now.
Like spasiba.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
A few. Niet. Niet. That's easy, right? No.
Yeah.
Da. Yes.
Yeah,
right?
I think niet is the first word you are going to learn.
Well, you hear it
in the Philippines, in Manila, for instance. Like going and saying niet in local in Tagalog to all these watch promoters and just fake Viagra, whatever.
Now he pulled the cue ball out a little bit, which is interesting. Hard to. They must be really surveying the rack and trying to go play off of information, because if you look at the results today, oh wow, cue ball, wow.
What about Dart Fedor?
Hey, that's
from Star Wars, kind of.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, and really fortunate here with the cue ball. Just and that's how pool is. You saw when Tyler broke and went off in the side, and that cue ball caught both points on that right side pocket. So. Okay, he's going to remove the 7, knocking it down to the bottom rail on the push out. Probably leave it. Oh, he's just following the cue ball quite a ways. Trying to create some congestion, because you know anytime you roll out in professional pool, you take the worst of it. Now with the 2 on the side rail, you could take a chance trying to chip this on the left side and come down 2 rails and try and get behind that 7, the 7-6 and all that, especially with the 4 there as well. I think that's okay. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth a try. Because you see the 2 planted on the left side rail. Well, instead of using his extension, he decided to pass the shot. And the reason is, even if you leave a shot, most likely it's going to be pretty long and straight on the 1. If you chip the left side of the 1 and run the cue ball 2 rails trying to come behind the 7.
Well, just the one option I see here is trying to use the 4 ball. Just to go on top of it.
Yeah, that's okay. I really like taking a chance at trying to bury him behind the 7 here, and knowing that the 2s are really tough. And if you do leave him, you notice the way the angles are, it's got to be straight if you leave him. So again, this ball got away from him badly. Oh, wow. But still, I think it was a hard one for Tyler to pass. I think the way the situation is, you got to try and hit the ball well.
Now he's going to jump over the 5, taking his time extension.
Yeah, I don't know if I would try to make this. I think I'm trying to jump this and bank it around 2 rails towards the 7, hoping for some distance. Because with the jump cue, you don't figure to make it, right? And position across the table is almost impossible, unless you really kind of warp it in.
Well, so far it looks like Fedor got all the rolls in this
rack. Yeah, a little bit. Wow, what a shot. He could see the 1. But still, that was another key in taking on the rollout. If you do leave a shot, your opponent has to come with one heck of a shot, and Tyler Styer did. So this is very essential to get the 2 underneath the 7 here, because you don't have many blockers with the cue ball. I know you're going to try and come back behind the 4. Look at this shot.
Oh, he still jumped over the 5, over the edge.
Maybe
of
an
the ball.
edge, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's gotten away from him a little bit, but definitely the way the shot was, and Fedor's got an option at trying to billiard the 3 in. Tell you one thing about the billiard, though. With all the cluster there, you may not escape with the cue ball. He could easily hook him behind the 7-5, I believe, if he just kind of hit 2/3 of the 2 ball.
Well, in case of a billiard, I think he should go 2 ball rail first and then into the 3.
Well, he's going to hit it with. He's going to catch a full hit, so this is going to have a lot of speed. See, but that's the problem. If this 2 catches the 4, he could trap himself.
Yeah, he's hooked now.
Yeah, and that's, I think, with the option of the safety there, that was pretty doable. Well, Fedor has been, he hasn't made every jump shot, but he's done pretty well with them. He's going to kick across the table? Okay. And the reason why he's kicking across the table is he doesn't really see a pocket offensively for the 2 with the jump. Okay, where's the 2 going to end up?
Well, right in his luck.
And he's tied up to 6-7 unless it goes in the corner. I don't think so, though. It looks a little off angle.
Oh, it could it be manufactured? No.
Well, with the 5 there, you figure if whoever gets through the shot first will be able to break that, maybe.
I mean, just trying to throw the ball after all.
Maybe. Well, there's a little gap. You may be able to cut it. Watch out for leaving the 2-9.
Nice safety.
Now Fedor's going to have to kick across the table again.
And I don't think the 2-rail option, the 2-rail kick option is
with
on.
The 4 there, right?
Yeah, right.
He's going to have to kick 1 rail across, I believe. Well, I'll tell you what, if he goes 2 rails and hits this, it looks like he can only hit the top, so I think the 9 is maybe doable. He caught the 4, yeah. Good call, Michael. And I think Tyler should shoot this 2-9 combination.
Yeah, sure.
The pocket is very big, even though he's got to cut the 2 quite a ways. Now the problem with this is, watch for the double kiss. What's the cue ball going to do? What's the 2 ball going to do going back into the cue ball?
Well, with ball in hand, he can just manufacture the angle. And
but you don't want to make it too off angle, you know, then you could miss it, you think. I mean, sometimes you got to take the chance here, but I've seen this before a bunch of times where you get kissed right back in. Now, if he eases it, nice shot.
Well, it is 2 apiece right now in a race to 5.
And I think a few decisions by Fedor cost him a couple situations, maybe not games necessarily, because you never know what's going to happen. He took a mild speed here. That was the key. You'll notice the 2's coming back into the cue ball, and you see how it can kiss it back towards that side pocket. So nice playing it with a lighter speed, being very conscious that the 2's going to come back into the cue ball. And I'll tell you what, if you like cue sports, I couldn't imagine a better place in all of Russia to play other than Baza Billiards here.
Yeah, thank you for the plug, Jeremy.
Yeah, Vladimir has put together an incredible place.
Oh,
and free pool, right? Free pool, right? You don't even pay no matter what you want to play.
Well, you still kind of expected to spend the same amount you would have spent in any other place, but you get some cuisine in return.
Oh yeah, but the food is incredible.
Or coffee, yeah.
Yeah, the food is incredible. The people are very pleasant.
That was the main point.
Yeah, we had a long discussion our first night here. We went to dinner with Vladimir, and he and I had a discussion about what he's trying to do
and
for
Russia
pocket billiards. So.
This play just shows how much Vladimir loves this game.
Right. Okay, he's got an issue with the 7-8. If whoever gets to that 7-8, which Tyler's starting off with a nice opening shot on the 1, very clear, and the 2 very open. And he went back to the side rail with a nice flush break. I think that's the 1. And Absolutely. So drawing the cue ball on this table we've seen is not a problem. The main thing is keeping control of the draw. Okay, nice shot there. You'll see the 7 is not very playable, so, and it's not easy to really like shoot the 4 and break the 7-8 out and gain position on the 6. So even though we're not only on the 2 ball, got to have some thought of that 4 ball later in the rack. Excuse me, that 7-8 later in the rack. Gotten long. And
he could try to
straight.
develop the 7 off the 4.
Yeah, but getting back on the 6, you have to make sure everything's perfect for that. And not only that, you're getting on the 6 ball to where you don't know exactly where the 7's going to open up at. So.
Well, we know that cue sports is a game of perfection, almost on every shot.
Yeah, and it's believe it or not, it's a lot of game of misses as well. Like there's areas you play a little safer, a little more guarantees at times. So.
Everyone misses, like they say.
Yeah, absolutely. Now he's just going to try and stun forward just a little bit. Now he's going to, I think.
I like that.
I think he's going to try and catch the edge of the 7 and come 2 rails out, kind of like a high right English maybe. Now the problem is he's going to be stretched.
And just don't make the contact on the 7 too thick.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't think he can put a whole lot of right. Yeah, he can't be thick. Can't put a whole lot of right. He might go right by the 7. Okay, nice shot.
Just like that.
Yeah.
That's a very skilled shot.
Perfect speed. Now, it looks like to me from him pointing at the table, he's going to hit right before the side with a little left English and drop down in between the 7-8. Is that what it looks like, Michael? There's a nice path coming right across the spot, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Just past the 7. He's okay. Looks like going ahead for the first time in this match. Our 3rd match of the evening.
Yeah, not a must-win, but one you would think is definitely needed for the Americans. And a nice out here in Game 5 by Tyler Styer.
Oh, frankly, I don't know, Jeremy, if the format allows any timeouts, but I think it is supposed to. And if timeouts are allowed, I'm surprised nobody just took a timeout so far. I mean, during all these days.
I don't recall any timeouts. No. I
Well,
played.
in a race to 5, that would be probably a little bit over the top.
Well.
But just to unsettle your opponent, why not?
Well, I know in the.
Once again, you mentioned you have to use your timeout.
I think there's always a place.
Whether you need it or not.
Right. Well, there's there's a little bit of gamesmanship in the timeouts, whether you need it or maybe you want to put your opponent on the cooker a little bit.
Yeah, you can take the timeout for yourself or just,
psychologically.
Or just against your opponent.
Right. If he makes a mistake, sometimes you get out, you take a timeout, let him think about his mistake for a while. Some guys don't handle it.
Don't give out all the secrets, you know.
Wow. Well, like the Mosconi Cup, if you needed a timeout, it was usually like a restroom, because your nerves get going, the flow and everything. And you had to wait for a commercial, and then you had to run to the restroom and run back. So there was no actual timeouts involved as far as official timeouts. Now Fedor almost losing the cue ball on the side on the last break. I really believe, especially, some guys rack the balls like they play rack your own and they know there's a gap there and they don't intentionally try to make the gap, but they know the gap produces a corner ball or something. But with the ref, oof, got a couple kisses on the cue ball, a third kiss.
Yeah, speaking of a ref, Jeremy, I think you were involved in one funny situation during the Kremlin Cup, where you asked the ref to clean the cue ball. So just to go ahead, what happened next?
Oh yeah, it was me and Sergey.
Yeah.
And I asked him if I could get the cue ball, if I could clean the cue ball, and he asked me to get the referee. I said no problem, and the referee is Russian, so I asked him to ask the referee for me.
She showed the pretty clear gesture to have the cue ball cleaned.
Yeah. No, actually, Sergey, I asked him to ask the ref in Russian to clean the cue ball. Yep. And so he said sure, and the referee, without putting any mark down on the table, nothing, he just grabbed the cue ball off the table. And I of course, went, whoa, and then he put it back down a couple inches away from where it actually started, but I was okay with that. But then he got his marker out, and when he used the marker, he picked up the cue ball and he slid the marker under, like 3 inches underneath from where it was.
Well,
it was a situation I'd never seen before.
Yeah, that's very funny. But you know what? The first time I have ever seen the situation where the referee grabs the cue ball without any marking was from one of the tournaments in the USA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before that I can recall.
I think that was pretty famous over the internet.
Was it the U.S. Open that happened?
Don't think so.
No?
But well, I'm not sure whether it was John Layton or not.
Oh,
but
okay.
Probably.
Wow.
It might have been during one of the straight pool tournaments.
Okay, and here you bring it up and look what's happening. That's amazing. Okay, I'm not sure why he wants the cue ball cleaned. I guess maybe he's going to attack this cut shot. Now, see if he holds the. There you go. You put your fingers on top of the marker before.
Oh, sometimes it's not that easy to deal with with your gloves on. Believe me, because I've been
slick,
there.
right?
I've been there as well. Yeah,
right.
Acting as a referee.
Michael, you've done it all, huh?
Yeah, and you don't know all the parts.
Right.
Yeah. I'll just try to keep it secret and tell it to you, like, privately.
Personally, yeah.
Yeah, personally.
Okay, nice shot there. Throwing that 3-ball in with the outside English.
Looks like we've got many top pros online. Once again, I think I've seen Justin Bergman mentioned and Chris Melling of England.
Yeah. All the guys are interested in,
Well, hello,
that's
everyone.
One thing that, pool is a tough profession.
But it's a great community.
Yeah, great people. I wouldn't change it for anything, but the love of the game, and it's never the same. You're very, very much on top of the world one day, and then under the rug the next. So I think these guys are as interested in other people's games and the pressure. They want to see what happens under pressure at the highest level. I think we're heading towards a hill-hill match here now, Michael.
Hopefully. I think the audience just loves all these double heel situations.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's where the nerves sometimes really get on you, and these kind of situations are where a player shows real heart.
Absolutely, and what you realize in time is whether you're playing a race to 9 or a race to 5 or whatever it may be, most likely it's going to be 3-1. Most likely somebody's going to be ahead 3-1. It's not always going to be 1-1, 2-2, and all that. You have to realize those situations have to be dealt with. Just like you're ahead 3-1, you play the same as if you're behind 3-1. And now at 3 apiece.
By the way, I think there are some players that like chasing more than being in the lead.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, normally in any kind of sport, I believe it is easier.
Well,
because you can kind of see a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's, I don't know. I personally like being in the lead.
Yeah, but I mean to say that as
I mean,
long,
there's satisfaction in coming
yeah,
in.
what I am driving at is that when the guy being in the lead just feels the heat
Oh,
from
absolutely.
behind, yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
just, he might start being too nervous or
Absolutely.
making mistakes.
Absolutely. They feel like, oh, I have my chance to win. One mistake's going to cost me. So I traditionally, as a start in my career, was a very slow starter in matches. Maybe because I was an action player for a long time before I started playing professional tournaments. And
Gambling and tournament play are completely different.
Right. Okay, he's made the 1 in the side, almost the 9 in the corner. Now the 2's going to get down, I think, but is the 7 in the way? It appears so.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Maybe if the 2 got all the way down, though, he may be able to have a pretty routine jump shot. No, that's not routine at all. There's 7 is further distance away from the cue ball than it is from the 2, so not easy.
There's a 1 rail kick. Just try to avoid the 4 then.
Yeah, you mean like sending the cue ball up table and maybe crossing over the 2, or trying to make the 2? Trying to make the 2 is possible, but difficult.
Just going for safety.
Right.
Just once again a full ball hit on the 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this slick table, I think the cue ball may go into the 4, so we'll see.
Well, I was thinking about trying to reposition the 2 actually.
Right, on the back rail, right?
Yeah.
But then also, if it comes across too much, you may leave a billiard shot on the 9. So a difficult situation here. One thing we haven't seen on the rollout is the guys tying balls up. Now, maybe it hasn't been too available, but when you're in a bad situation, you always want to try to lengthen the game.
Yeah, and actually that's the thing you see many top players do pretty often. Like they pick some later balls in the rack, like 7 or maybe 8 or 6, and
right.
So, yeah.
Right. You always want to lengthen the game, no matter what it is, whenever you have the worst of it. Okay, he's shooting your shot. Oh, he's making it. Wow, what a shot. Now is the 4 going to get in the way of the 3?
That's a great one.
Yeah, and it sure did. That's pretty unlucky considering the shot he just made on the 2 ball.
Well, go figure, we have Evgeny Staliv online.
Oh, wow, that's one guy I wish I would have got to see on this trip. I really like Evgeny.
Have you ever faced him maybe the Derby City?
No, but we've faced each other in the back room playing, yes.
Which game? One Pocket?
One Pocket, yeah. He loves One Pocket.
What do you think about his skills at One Pocket?
He's one of the most skillful players, period, in my opinion.
Rumor is he was considering going to the Derby City next year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd love to see him. I know that. I really like the guy a lot. I always have. We first played in Cardiff, and I gave him 8-5. I think it was the first time he ever played One Pocket. Within 2 days, I couldn't give him 9-7. It was amazing.
Well, I'm not sure whether he's been at the pool table recently. Definitely playing more pyramid.
Well, he owns a room here in Moscow.
Yeah. But it is mostly about like Russian billiards once again.
Right.
They've got a couple of I think Brunswick table.
I'm not sure. I haven't been there. No. I planned on going, but I fell a little sick on this trip for a few days, so I was getting my rest. Okay, this is a 9-ball player's shot coming off the inner rail on a thin cut. The key here is don't let up on the stroke. Don't blast it, but just nice medium. Yeah, just like so. And he caught behind it. Now is this kiss on the 6 going to do him any nice things?
Did he catch it too thin?
No, he hit behind it. He hit rail first.
Well, I would say rail first on this kind of shot is way too thin.
Yeah. Well, and that's if he was put just a little bit of a mishit on the cue ball, half a tip, quarter of a tip, maybe it deflected on him a little bit. Now it looks like, I'm not sure if he's going for this or not. I think he is. Wow, great shot. And I'll tell you, I talked to Tyler before the match started today. Not this match, but the entire match. And like I said earlier, he felt like he felt better today than any other day. So, and he said he actually hit less balls because of it. the last 2 days he hit maybe too many balls because he wasn't feeling that great. And today, he didn't take near as much practice. So.
Feeling more confident.
Yeah, so. And making two really incredible shots in this game particularly. The one rail kick on the 2 to open this game, and then a tough 4 ball off the side rail that we just tough 3 ball, excuse me, off the side rail that we just saw.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
I mean, looks like he's just straight drawing this ball out. Ooh.
Lost the cue ball completely.
Wow, unfortunate there.
I think Yevgeny Styer was ready to take 7-9 from you.
No, what do you mean? That was in what was that? 2005, I think, or 2004. No, he gets no handicap anymore, especially on this side of the world.
That's gonna hurt definitely.
Tyler's got to remain focused, though, and wait for his opportunity. He's hitting the ball pretty nicely overall.
Well, Fedor is not quite precise enough here also, but he can just draw back.
Well, I don't think he's cued the ball totally sharp this match. We saw early in the first couple games of some mishits on safeties.
Yeah, true. But still in the lead, 4-3 in a race to 5. And going to be breaking for the match.
Michael, I'm sure you've been to the States many times?
Yes, never.
Never? Well, with your English, I figured you had to have been to the States. When are you coming?
Well, I wish maybe next year. Well, who knows?
Derby?
Yeah, looking forward to it actually.
Uh-oh, the cue ball. What's it gonna do? Okay, it's slowed down.
I think, my opinion, the Derby City is the event every pool fan or pool player should visit once or more.
Yeah, you get to see a variety of games. You get to see a lot of action matches.
Yeah, non-stop action.
Yeah, and 10 ball, the 10-foot table. So.
Yeah, you know, I've read so much about this event at AZ Billiards, forums. Well, right now I'm wearing the T-shirt reading AZ Billiards, and I would like to say thanks to Upstate L for posting, for plugging our event there in the live stream area. Thank you, L.
Yeah, you see a 9 ball that went down, trying to play safe, and he cut the 9 right in the pocket.
That's very fortunate for sure. All right, so that's it between Tyler and Fedor. Fedor wins, and we are going to have a 10-minute